The other thing that he brought up, which I was kind of surprised by, I guess I would say, is he brought up this misleading false claim that you yourself have talked about in recent days about Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, abducting people's pets and eating them, which officials there have said is not true. You yourself acknowledged it may be false on Twitter. You still told people to keep spreading it. But Trump just amplified it to tens of millions of people who were watching. Why push something that's not true?
Well, first of all, city officials have not said it's not true. They've said they don't have evidence.
Not true.
No evidence.
We've heard from a number of constituents on the ground, Caitlin, who
Can you pause for a second?
Firsthand and secondhand report.
Pause.
You understand that, like, what he's saying is right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they never answer questions anyway.
Like, if I were to say, yesterday, there were people saying Godzilla was in New York City. And then if I were to call, you know, the mayor or call a police officer, like, hey, is there any evidence of Godzilla being there? Like, we have no reports of Godzilla being here. And then you confront him, you're like, hey, you understand that they said that, you know, Godzilla wasn't in New York City. That's not true. And he's like, well, they didn't technically say it wasn't true. They just said there were no reports of it. Okay, Hume. Like, what the kind of answer is that? Like,
city officials have not said it's not true. They've said they don't have all the evidence.
They said,
or any evidence. They just haven't seen any evidence of it being true. Like, what?
Yeah.
What the are we talking about here?
What are we doing here? I don't know. It's fun. It's fun. I mean, it's not fun. Was a cat actually eaten?
No. I was annoyed because on stream, I got the video of this lady, the black lady that apparently was eating a cat. And then I opened it on stream and I was like, where's she eating the cat? And then people were like, oh no, she just ate it, but it happened off screen. And I'm like, okay.
Well, I don't want to see that.
I do.
There's a thing. I don't think you do.
I do.
Also, you know, we're not going to go down this road. I don't believe you. I think that you would be furious if Honey walked in here right now and I kicked Honey in the face and he started crying, you know, doing a little whimper. I think you would, at that moment, be ready to kill me because I think that you do.
He's been really annoying.
You do have
in the morning.
An attachment to animals.
I think he needs to be abused a little.
No.
He does this thing. Wake up time is 8 a.m.
Wake up time.
Do you know what that means?
Get fed.
No, he has food because I feed him before I go to sleep to make sure he's not going to do that.
Food.
No, he wants for you to just be awake so that he can go to sleep. So he'll jump on the bed and he'll sit in front of you.
Yeah.
And he'll meow a lot. Yeah. And then when you try to ignore him, he'll take his paw and just start like doing this.
Yeah. I watched this cat for many days. I'm aware of its
And
tactics.
then if you ignore him, then he'll start pushing stuff off of everything in the room.
But he immediately recognized my dominance as a cat owner.
Oh, yeah?
And respected my authority and did exactly as I told. Anyways.
I'm going to introduce him to one of these Haitians if he doesn't shape up.
Stop. Okay. All right.
I've heard,
no evidence.
All right.
heard from a number of constituents on the ground, Caitlin, who both firsthand and secondhand reports saying
The first paw and second paw reports.
Good one. Why would he say firsthand and secondhand report?
Meaning the people on the ground dealing with this think that it is happening. And
Like, what does that mean? They think that it's happening. We're getting a firsthand report that people think it's happening. What do you think firsthand means? Clearly, that's not a firsthand report, meaning somebody directly witnessed or has direct evidence of it happening. That's clearly not we have firsthand reports of people that think it's happening. What the does that mean?
It means nothing.
Like, do you have an eyewitness to the murder? Yeah, Jane here witnessed somebody else saying that it happened.
What? Good old Republicans. I love them. All right. That's enough of you, JD
And I think
Vance.
that it's important for journalists
I said that was
to
enough
actually
of
get
you.
off-
Stop talking. We have more links to click.
That's true. I wonder if Trump heard somebody make some race joke about Asians, but he heard Haitians. Now it's just like stuck in his there.
He's like, oh, those Asians are always eating cats with their Asian food. And he's like, Haitians. Yep, I know that country. Not good. All right. Oh my God, look at all this JD Vance stuff. Encourages followers to keep spreading the fake news. In short, don't let the crybabies in the media dissuade you. They don't know that word. Fellow patriots. Keep the cat memes flowing.
Wow. Based. What was the scroll up? What is this tweet?
Just talking of psychoanalyzing people, you've got two complete
Why aren't you at TwitchCon? I don't know. I don't really have anything to do there right now.
polar opposites now running for president of the United States. If you were psychoanalyzing Trump and Kamala Harris, what would you conclude right now based on everything you've seen and heard?
Psychoanalyzing Trump and Harris. Okay, so here is the brain of a partisan hack who's trying to seem like a centrist. So we're going to have to attack Trump on something and say that he's got some kind of character flaw, but it can't be an essential. It can't be like incredibly important, right? It can't be something that's really important. So maybe something like Trump is maybe a little bit too unhinged, but probably because he's been attacked so much by the media. So he's a bit like a scared dog in the corner, or like a scared cat, you know, but like he's a good man and he's trying to do what's right. But Harris is a post-colonial, post-Marxist, post-modernist, post-everything Democrat, liberal, progressive, commie father who wants to destroy the world. It's going to be all bad. All right, that's my guess. Let's see.
Well, if I could vote in the American election, I would vote.
Is he going to say, I would vote third party, or I would vote for Donald Trump? I would vote for RFK. RFK's already dropped. I would vote for a third party candidate. He's on the Daily Wire. Third party or Donald Trump? I would vote. He can't see. I don't think he will say Donald Trump. Doesn't he pretend to be centrist? Donald Trump or third party? I don't think he'll full on say he would vote for Trump, right? He doesn't have to. He's not even an American citizen. I would vote third party. That's my guess.
For Trump.
Me. Okay, never mind. Just kidding. All right. Peterson's gone full sellout. My bad.
Well, if I could vote in the American election, I would vote for Trump. And I don't trust Harris. Now, do I trust Trump? Well, he was president for 4 years. Like, look, the best predictor of someone's future behavior is their past behavior. If you're trying to hire someone and you have documented history of their efforts in precisely the domain that you're attempting to hire for, and the evidence is clear and valid, you use that in favor of all other predictive, what would you say, predictive markers. So I think it's more appropriate for me as a clinician who knows the psychometric literature.
Has he lost his medical license or whatever yet from Canada? If not, comments like these, he absolutely should. He absolutely shouldn't have any kind of medical, any accreditation, any of that should be revoked. Like this is such an unbelievably irresponsible statement. Also, by the way, people were literally ass-paying about this in the last election cycle where people were diagnosing Trump as crazy. In the United States, it's called the Goldwater Rule, right? Prohibits members from offering psychological opinions about individuals whom they had not personally examined. Peterson has not personally examined any of these people. Now he's literally saying, as a psychometrician, I'm going to tell you based on the clinical you can't, that's such an inappropriately, disgustingly horrible thing to do, but.
Predictive, what would you say, predictive markers. So I think it's more appropriate for me as a clinician who knows the psychometric literature to point out that independent of Trump's personality, which tends, by the way, to be a relatively weak predictor of behavior, it's intelligence that's the best predictor, and then personality, we have a documented track record. Okay, so what do we know about Trump? Well, as far as I'm concerned, we know this. Decent economic performance, markedly stable internet.
Like Peterson doesn't know anything about any of these topics. Decently economic performance, really? What did he do? He has tax cuts, that's it. What else could you possibly say?
National situation. No wars, plus.
He's on the Republican talking points. We should know all of these by now, right? It's always the same things. No wars, which is stupid. I don't think America's been in a war since World War II. It's such a dumb metric. No wars. It's always the same stupid things. Decent economic performance without listing any policies. No wars, which means nothing. He's going to say reduced immigration at the border by the end of his term, even though that's not true. And when it was happening, it was in large part due to COVID. Let's see, what else? What are the other stupid talking points? Respect around the world, maybe. I don't know.
And that's something. No wars. Plus, he established the Abraham Accords, and they've held even after October 7th. And everybody in the State Department told the Trump administration that putting that agreement together was impossible. Now, of course, it's the Abraham Accords that have infuriated and frustrated the bad actors in Iran, and that's pretty much the entire political class there, and fomented October 7th and produced this catastrophe that's unfolding. But
who did he hear this from? So even if he knows this, then how can you say that the Abraham Accords were a good idea? Okay.
But putting that at the feet of Donald Trump is a very ill-advised thing to do.
Why? Wait, so are we putting it at the feet of Joe Biden?
So I would say with regards to Trump, well, we know what a Trump presidency would be like, but there's something else to consider too, because you might say, well,
what about Vietnam? I don't think we ever formally declared war in Vietnam. I think the last formal declaration of war, I'm pretty sure, was World War II.
Well, we know what a Trump presidency would be like, but there's something else to consider too, because you might say, well, you know, that was round one and now it's round two and Trump is older. And although I think he's actually modified his behavior to some degree as a consequence of being beat up so thoroughly over the last 5 years. And although
being beat up. Yep. The media is attacking him and he's like, this is the cat in the corner. Here it is.
He's a bit defensive. He's also less
yep.
blustery and more human, which I think is a big plus. But
so I just want to clarify this chart. I know that this chart was also been discussed by a few of my colleagues and Ms. Green and the chairman and others, but I just think this chart is important for us to actually look at this and actually be accurate. Right now it says that Trump left office at this point in the chart. That's actually not when Donald Trump left office. Donald Trump actually left office right here on this chart.
Hey, DGGer, yes, thank you.
And so
whoever's in the White House staff, I'll give you guys all the answers. I'll tell you what I want to see, okay, on the House floor. Please keep watching.
You know, when we're talking about charts, we should be very accurate when actual Donald Trump actually left office. And you can see that the actual immigration and what's happening with border crossings was already going up by the time Donald Trump left office. And so I think it's important that when we have charts, and I appreciate being allowed to use this one, that we're accurate about actually when this actually happened. So facts are really important.
True. And thank you.
I appreciate that, Destiny.
All right, bye.
Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.